What's up, everybody? I want to tell you about Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's one of the easiest ways to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting Anchor on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. So download Anchor, the app, or go to anchor.fm to get started. And I'm a veteran, so let's hear some more military cadences. What's up, y'all? What's up, kinfolk? The weekend once again went way too fast, per usual. But we're back. We're back again to talk about things. So the Grammys were tonight. That's what was pretty much the biggest thing of tonight. Let's see what we had here. Adele took home a Grammy tonight. Harry Styles won Album of the Year. A lot of people weren't happy about that. They thought it should have went to Beyonce. The Producer of the Year is some guy named Jack. Sam Smith won an award. So they had Adele, Best Pop Performance. Beyonce won the Best Dance for Break My Soul, Best Dance Electric Album, Best Traditional Performance, Plastic Off the Sofa, and Best R&B. Cuff It. Harry Styles won Album of the Year and Best Pop Vocal of the Year. And then Rosalia won Best Latin Rock or Alternative of the Year. Viola Davis got her EGOT status finally. And yeah, that's just a few. I'm not going to go down the whole list of winners because y'all won't even know who half of these people are, for real. I don't know even who half of these people are. Let's see. Madonna is trending. The funniest thing that was trending was J-Lo with Ben Affleck. He whispered something in her ear and she looked at him like, dude, if you don't be still and be cute. Somebody said Madonna looks good for her age. If her age is a 27-year-old vampire who eats babies and small animals alive. Wow. Madonna needs to stop with the plastic surgery and embrace the aging process. She's nearly unrecognizable at this point. A lot of people was not feeling Madonna in her new look. I didn't see it, so. Trevor Noah hosted. I'm assuming he did well. I don't even have it in me to watch these. I guess Harry Styles said something during Black History Month that people didn't like. Let's see what he said.
Very often, and this doesn't happen to people like me very often, and this is so nice. Thank you very, very much.
I think Harry wasn't thinking about Black History Month, guys. Sometimes the little woke internet does too much. Let's see what else is going on. So the whole spy balloon got shot down over the Carolinas. China vowed to retaliate. How that is, I don't know. But they did shoot down the Chinese spy balloon. It combusted. I wonder how much those missiles cost. Some people say that this could be the defining moment in the new Cold War. I didn't know we were at a Cold War. Let's see what else is going on. I don't want to get into too much world news. It's our first day back. Let's ease into this. See what else we got. So I don't want to talk about that. I'm just seeing what we want to talk about. My peoples. We might just jump into story time because some of this news is repetitive. So out of Ohio, this mother and her two teenage sons were found dead in apparent murder-suicide. The Ohio mother of two teenage sons were found dead in apparent murder-suicide. And Cincinnati police have confirmed the death of a mother and her two teenage sons in what they call a double murder-suicide. Early Friday, police went on an Avondale home around 5:30 a.m. and found the bodies of Eric Johnson, his 16-year-old brother, Rodrigo Johnson, and their 38-year-old mother, Darlene Flores, inside their home. Authorities received a call, reports a potentially dead person. When our officers arrived, 3 deceased individuals were found with gunshot wounds. Police have not disclosed the details of their investigations, which they said was continuing, but according to the family's GoFundMe, it states that the oldest son, Eric, took the life of his mother and brother. Our oldest grandson sadly took the lives of his mother and brother and then took his own life. The tragedy that took place is connected to the 2022 murder-suicide of the father and his 6-year-old daughter, Isla Johnson. And what was even more crazy is that the son that did the murder-suicides today, he confessed in his letter that he had killed another teen in 2021. He confessed to that in the letter. So it was some real life sickness going on in that family, man. Wow. Just going through these things and what else we want to talk about or don't want to talk about. There's a lot of mess out here. I might just really make this a short podcast today because a lot of this is kind of the same old topics. Yeah, let's jump into story time. I'm not seeing anything worth getting you guys frazzled about. Let's see what I got tonight.
Weeks, Michael and Josh began having an affair. Carissa was shocked, but here's where this story takes a dark twist. You see, in a few weeks later, Carissa's 3-month-old daughter mysteriously died. Now Carissa believes that Josh caused the death of her daughter because he was in love with her husband. Kind of a crazy story, huh?
Yes.
What happened the day your daughter died?
One of my friends had came over, and me and my friend, we played with her and stuff, and she had to leave. Well, then I was feeling tired and stuff, so I laid her in a bassinet, and I went to sleep. Michael was already asleep on the couch. Well, the next thing I know, a few hours later, Josh woke me up, saying that there was something wrong with my daughter. And the reason that I woke up was because I felt like there was a presence over me, like weird and creepy, and it was him.
Josh?
Yes. And I told him to call 911 when I felt her, and she was so cold. She was cold. She had a bruise on the back of her head. The cops said that was from losing, the blood's not flowing or whatever. And then Michael came in there and tried to give her CPR. And the cops got there and said that we needed to go to the hospital and meet her there. And we did, and when we got there, she was gone. The cops started questioning Josh and everybody, trying to figure out what happened. And I swear, I feel like Josh had something to do with her death.
Why would Josh want to do something to a little baby?
That, I'm thinking, is because he was jealous over that I had Michael and that he wanted him all to himself.
What was her cause of death? What was your daughter's cause of death?
That someone rolled on her.
Right.
And then there was contusion to her left side of her head, and there was caffeine in her system.
Any idea how caffeine got into her system?
No, I do not.
A 3-month-old baby. What do you think happened to her?
I think Josh killed her because of the fact that Michael wouldn't leave me.
What I don't understand, did you go to your husband and say Josh is interested in you, he's bisexual?
Yeah, actually I did.
Why did you do that?
I don't know. I wasn't thinking at that time.
Because then the three of you all started having sex together, right?
Yeah.
Was it odd to you to watch your husband have sex with another man?
Yeah, it hurt me. It did.
But you kind of opened the door there.
I know. I thought that when I told Michael that he liked you and that, I thought it was, a laughing matter. Like he was going to laugh about it, which he did. I didn't think he was going to go and be with him.
Right. So the first time, how did it come about that the three of you, or how did it come that anybody started sleeping with anybody? How did that happen?
Okay. One day I had put Jasmine asleep and I was tired. So I laid down and Josh and Michael was laying there and they were just talking and stuff.
Laying where?
Laying on the bed.
Okay.
And I put her in her bassinet in her bed. And we were all just laying there and I went to sleep. Well, then I felt like the bed was moving. I was like, what the hell is going on? And I woke up and there they were. They were doing that right next to me. And I threw a fit.
They were doing what?
Having sex right there by me. And I got up and I threw a fit. Told Michael that I was going to take my daughter and leave him.
They were cheating right in front of you?
Yeah. I was like, I didn't even know that you all were together.
And what did they say?
He's like, oh, I know. We've been together for a couple weeks now. I was like, really?
Did you ever think that your husband was attracted to men?
No, I didn't.
But then you start having sex with Josh.
Yeah.
Okay. How did, because you had to be furious when you saw your husband having sex with him. How did you end up having sex with him?
Because Michael told me that if I don't be with Josh, then he was going to leave me. And I loved Michael at that time. I did.
And so you had sex with Josh?
Yeah.
Was your husband involved, or?
Yeah.
The whole story is ate up. The title was My Husband's Lover Killed My Baby. I think Steve Wilkos has something on Jerry Springer because Jerry ain't had these crazy shows. Like, this is wild. And I don't watch this show. I just see clips and thank God I don't watch this show. Like, I save it for you guys in our entertainment because I don't know how many brain cells I would lose. And rest in peace to the poor baby. And why would you volunteer your husband to sleep with a man and then just everything is jacked?
Killer Chris Watts lead a double life as a gay man. 29-year-old Trent Bolte claims he met Watts on the dating app Meet Me.
He said he didn't know if he was bisexual or gay.
Bolte first came to public attention last August when he spoke anonymously to HLN's Ashley Banfield.
Chris Watts' former lover.
Now he's decided to come forward and let his face be seen. Police took Bolte's story seriously and made public this interrogation video.
So we talked about money for sex, how you guys met, the amount of time you guys met. We talked a little bit more about Chris. So I believe you now.
One thing that was written about you is that you're a male escort. Are you a male escort?
No, I'm not a male escort.
Bolte says he and Watts sometimes got hotel rooms, which Watts paid for. He says Watts also paid for his lip injections.
Did Chris Watts pay for you to have other cosmetic procedures?
He paid for Botox in my forehead and around my eyebrows.
He shared several messages between the two of them. I miss your face, Watts wrote in this text. Bolte said they did what most couples do and watch Netflix together.
I got him into Orange is the New Black.
Did that become one of his favorite shows?
Yeah.
Bolte says Watts admitted he had a family, but gave the impression he was separated from his wife, Shannon. Last February, Bolte says he was even introduced to Watts' daughters, Bella and Cece, outside a shopping center in Loveland, Colorado.
Cece just talked up a storm. She was one of the happiest little girls I've ever seen. And Bella was very shy.
What was he like with his own kids? seem scared of him?
No, not at all.
How did they seem?
They seemed very comfortable with him. He was very proud of his daughters.
That night, Balti says he found out Watts was still living with Shanann.
He said that Shanann was verbally and emotionally abusive. I said, why don't you just file for divorce? He said, I'm just worried that she won't let me see the girls.
Balti says he is haunted by several comments Watts made about his family.
Chris told me it would be ideal if me and him could move to Oregon and take the girls.
He suggested to you that the two of you would pick up his daughters and flee to Oregon?
Yeah.
Did he ever talk about trying to get his wife out of his life?
Yeah, Chris spoke of that a lot.
Once, he says he overheard Shanann yelling at Watts on the phone.
Chris said there's got to be some way to get this effing bee out of my life.
That takes on a whole new meaning now, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Trent says he and Watts finally broke up in early May 2018 after 10 months of dating.
Why did your relationship with Chris end?
I just started seeing through Chris's lies.
Balti says he was shocked to learn that Watts was having a relationship with a coworker, a woman named Nicole Kessinger.
Was Chris Watts seeing you at the same time that he was seeing this woman?
Their relationship was only for 2 months. So time's up. It seems like he got with her right after I ended things in May.
Just 3 days before Watts killed his wife and daughters, Balti says Watts sent him a long text.
Chris said that he was in love with me. He said that he'd never been so comfortable with someone.
When you learned that he was arrested for murdering his wife and children, how did you react?
I got ill. I was in complete shock. I wish I'd never met him.
So, if you guys don't know who Chris Watts is, he's the killer dad who he murdered his pregnant wife and 2 young daughters, and pretty much took his 2 daughters and to the oil thing that he works at on his job and stuffed their bodies in the oil drum while they were alive with the hot oil, FYI. So I don't feel bad that his name is getting trashed. He denies this whole thing of this guy, Trent Balti, who said that he has recording of people. So many people have claimed to be with him and slept with him, and obviously they could possibly definitely get clout off of his name, which good for them, because this dude is a trash bag. I mean, I would never want to admit that I was in an affair with a murderer of children and pregnant people, but if it's true, if it's not true, who cares? He's a dirtbag, and now he's got all kind of dudes coming out saying he pays for lip injections and Botox and all this crap. It's funny to me that his credibility is continuing to get tarnished, and I'm here for that.
Child star who had made the leap to grown-up success.
Here I am.
He loved the acting. But his dreams came crashing down when he met a devious young woman.
She is a very street-savvy lady.
With a twisted agenda. If you've made it in Hollywood, you probably live in the Hollywood Hills, Malibu, Beverly Hills, or one of the trendy suburbs of the San Fernando Valley. But the industry's influence extends to every corner of Los Angeles, and the line between Hollywood fantasy and stark reality is very thin. The Crenshaw district is a good example. It's a residential community about a 15-minute drive from several film studios, but parts of this community are whirled away from Hollywood. It's heavy gang territory, and not the kind of place you'd expect to find a well-known actor late at night. His name is Merlin Santana. He's only 26 years old, but already famous for TV roles as the lovable Stanley on The Cosby Show, and more recently as the heartthrob Romeo on The Steve Harvey Show. Merlin Santana died on this street in the wee hours of Saturday morning, November 9th, 2002. He was shot in the back of the head while riding in a friend's car. Was this a random gang execution? An attempted robbery gone bad? Or was there something more sinister and disturbing at work?
When you get a case involving a celebrity, one of the things that you want to look at is whether or not their celebrity status had anything to do with the crime itself.
That guy right there is good looking. I don't care what anybody says, I said he's good looking.
Merlin Santana was no typical Hollywood wannabe. The son of Dominican immigrants, he was raised in New York City, but his life began with a very difficult premature birth.
It was 50% chance he never make it. The doctor told me that if he ever gets born, he was gonna be a miracle baby.
The miracle baby deserved a special name, so his mother called him Merlin, after Merlin the magician, King Arthur's legendary wizard.
He loved his name. He used to introduce himself to a lot of his friends like Merlin the magician, and they used to call him Merlin the magician.
When Merlin was 3, his mother had a chance encounter with a talent agent who saw something special.
He was very funny. He would come out of nowhere and he would do funny stuff. He made people laugh.
The agent encouraged Merlin's mom to take him to an audition for a national fast food ad campaign.
He got the audition. He got the job. After that, he never stopped working. He was working like every week, constantly.
Merlin had an advantage over other child actors because he spoke both English and Spanish. Good things followed.
He loved the acting. He loved it. He knew he was getting paid. I guess he liked the attention also.
He was very humble. He was very nice. And he was very friendly with everyone.
But Merlin's dreams of an acting career constantly bumped up against the tough neighborhood where he grew up. New York City's Washington Heights.
It was very bad. Very, very, very bad. It was a drug-infested neighborhood. It wasn't the best environment for him.
Coming up, a journey from the mean streets of New York to the bright lights of Hollywood ends in a shocking ambush.
Merlin Santana really had no idea that there were 2 young men running up on them with guns.
So to wrap this up, so it wouldn't want to be a part 2, he was murdered while sitting in a car. Somebody shot him from the back. The bullet went through the trunk and killed him. There was a couple of suspects. They received 23 years for pleading guilty to voluntary manslaughter and assault with a deadly weapon. They testified that Monique King, reportedly the shooter Gates' girlfriend, only aged 15 at the time, falsely claimed that Santana made sexual advances towards her, which prompted Gates and Bynes to attack. So, yeah, girl set them up for some reason, which is really strange. Not strange, but just wild. But she ended up getting 10 years in juvenile custody for her crime. But that was sad because I do remember him.
Every night when you go to bed, there's a period just after you close your eyes and you're essentially disconnected for a moment. Your brain is operating in theta. Well, theta is hypnosis. You put a pair of earphones on at night. You play a program that you want to be true in your life. The moment you fall asleep, the conscious mind shut off, but the subconscious mind is now in record theta. So whatever is coming through the earphones at that moment after you fall asleep, you don't hear it, but the subconscious mind is hearing it and downloading it in a state of theta.
So there you go. I always want to try this. I just never have gotten around to it. But the next time I want to study for something or learn something, I'm going to try. I don't find any headphones comfortable enough to sleep in. But one day I'm going to play something that I want to learn and see if this whole thing works.
Madonna is shaking, and she should be. It's a lot going on with her. Madonna is being accused by Africans in Mawali to be doing some child T, some CT, and accused of some child P charges. Let's talk about it. I hope y'all understood what I was saying. So, Madonna has an organization called Raising Mawali. Now, originally, Madonna got in some trouble in 2011 because she first came over to Mawali and she was supposed to be building a school for girls. It's supposed to be a school for girls that are the future leaders of the future. There, she's supposed to be investing money, but also she's supposed to be teaching them Kabbalah. Kabbalah is a form of Jewish mysticism that Madonna has been a part of for years. So when she came over there saying she was going to build a school, the Mawali government and the people of Mawali actually sold some of their houses. A lot of money went into this, and a lot of Madonna's own money went into this. Well, come to find out, she did not build a school at all. The program is still around, but she did not build a school. And the people were very upset because a lot of the people in the village were like, we gave up our home for the betterment of our kids. Not only that, she ended up adopting some Mawali kids, and that, over the years has been a source of people looking over their glasses with the videos of her having her African adopted kids rub her feet, have them say the N-word. She got one of her sons in a dress and jewelry. So I'm not saying that's a bad thing, the dress and the jewelry, but people have come out and they've been like, what's going over there with Madonna and those kids? So Madonna is being charged with child trafficking, trafficking, all sorts of things from the EFW. The EFW is the Ethiopian World Federation. And what they do, they were created in the United States in the 1930s. But they're here to help Africans going through things in different parts of Africa, not just Ethiopia. But they are on her like white on her skin, okay? Because, baby, a lot of the people in that town have rearranged their lives to accommodate the things that she said she was going to build. They even named her a martyr, like Saint Madonna in that town. So this money that she was supposed to have allotted for the school, she ended up spending on private jets, golfing memberships. On her staff, when she first got to Mawali, was her trainer with her. Her trainer's boyfriend actually ended up getting in trouble with some of this. He had some misappropriation of funds, and he ended up fleeing the scene. He ended up leaving. They've been having these investigations on her since 2011. She's been under investigation for years. I knew weird stuff was going on when on Wendy Williams' show, the mother of some of the kids she adopted said that they thought the kids was coming back, and they never did. It ended up living with Madonna. So, Madonna, we're watching you. Story from House of Mama.
So, it's weird because, like, child trafficking in Africa is really bad. I saw a girl the other day that was on vacation, and she was saying how there was a bunch of men there with just children, no mother, but they were there with children. Children are trafficked in countries ravaged with war conflicts in Western Africa, often sold as slave laborers working on cotton, tea, and cocoa plantations in what could be described as modern slavery. Girls from Togo are also trafficked to other countries, but to a different for a different purpose, being domestic servants. So the moral of the story is why I'm saying this is that I feel like Africa, they kind of like, especially when they see celebrities, and we know every celebrity has like some African child or Asian child or something, and it's kind of like, I don't know, because how she's letting them live their life, I don't think they'd go back and choose what they came from. I doubt anything comes of this. I do think that there's a big problem with these celebrities just picking and choosing, and why. I get they're trying to give them better lives, but there are a lot of children in America that need homes as well, and other places that Madonna has lived. It's just, I don't know how to feel about this story, but it's strange.
Assalamu alaikum TikTok. Good morning. It's your Angry Biracial. Yo, forgive me. I'm still recovering from my surgery, so I'm kind of heavily medicated right now. feels good, actually. 100%. But, I want to talk about this because, a lot of black men came on my other post where I talked about black men love the scraps of white men. They love the leftover women that white men don't want. A lot of them came on there, some in their feelings, some said, oh, but your mama white. No, my mom's not white. Look, black, white, biracials are not the only biracials on the planet. I think I made 100% clear that my mother is an Arab woman, but hey, if that's the only line y'all got. Another one they said was like, hey, you just want to be a black man. You hate the fact that you ain't darker. I'm like, really? I don't want to be you. Wallahi, I don't want to be y'all. I'm proudly biracial. That's why my name is Angry Biracial. I'm proudly biracial. 100%. I don't want to be y'all. But let's get back on topic. You see this brother right here? This brother, and the average looking skinny dude, left his black wife, cheated on his black wife. She didn't even know her husband was cheating until the show aired, and she found out he was with 1,000-pound sister Tammy. So, and this other dude right here, they fighting over 1,000-pound sister Tammy. Y'all are swinging on each other for a white woman that weighs 1,000 pounds or damn near 1,000 pounds. Yet y'all have the nerve to say black women are not fit, are not fit enough for you. You have the nerve to degrade your own woman when you're going for this. She can't even walk. She's so big she got to breathe through a breathing tube. And I'm not trying to make fun of people who are like that. I'm just trying to talk about these dudes that talk about black women, but this is the women they get. These are the only women that you can get, and you proudly uphold these women because they're white. You degrade yourself. You degrade your own women. You degrade your image as a black man to get with this. You support the very stereotype that you are saying that I'm wrong about. Because this is what y'all do in mass. These are the linebackers that you say that black women are jealous of. Y'all have become the laughing stock of the planet. No other men are doing shit like this. And y'all doing this shit for free. Yeah, there are some men that are trying to get like a green card or some stuff. But y'all doing this for free because you prefer whiteness over your beautiful black queens. No. It's just sad. It's just sad. Yeah.
Yeah, Tammy be pulling these brothers on the 1,000-pound sisters. She got a whole nother man, and I think she got married to a dude on a breathing machine. But Tammy is getting it in with y'all brown men. What's up with that? Y'all are chubby chasers. I need to do a thing on chubby chasers. That's an interesting thing. But yeah, Tammy be getting it in, breathing machine and all.
If the child so desires to have intercourse with an adult, the parents, caregivers, and anyone it's just what I just said. That would be up to if the child has the desire and if the community also decides.
That was a clip from the Liberty Lockdown podcast, featuring the woman who just spoke, Eliza Blue, and Thaddeus Russell. The conversation happened after Thaddeus Russell claimed on Twitter that he knew many men and women who had sex with adults when they were 13 and never regretted it. The woman who was speaking is Eliza Blue, a human trafficking survivor advocate, who has allegedly been getting people deplatformed on Twitter after they found and posted inconsistencies in her backstory. Let's check out another clip from the podcast.
Let's pretend like we all have our utopia. Each caregiver, parent, and community will decide if the child is ready to consent and look at the child's behavior. Do they have a job? How is their education going? Are they cognitively available to have sex with this individual?
She was speaking hypothetically of what would happen in her libertarian utopia, but a child cannot consent to X with an adult. As far as communities deciding that it's okay for kids to have X with adults, there were communities who decided to sacrifice their children to a deity named Baal. There were ancient Aztecs, Incas, communities in South and Central America, the Druids of Europe, North Africa, who decided that sacrificing children was a good idea. Check out this clip from a self-proclaimed messiah and cult leader, Josiah Mizukami.
about, do you think if a 3-year-old says yes to being touched by an adult who wants to touch, do you think that should be legal?
If they both want to, absolutely, I support their decision.
But what capacity does a 3-year-old have to understand sex?
An infinite capacity.
He ended up getting arrested for trying to meet a child for X. We are now living in the days where people are calling evil good and good evil. Jesus saves. Protect the children.
Protect the children, y'all. This is like beyond disgusting, and the fact that they're trying to make it more normalized is just, we have to continue to crack down on this. Like, anybody that has ever been around children obviously know their cognitive levels of whatever is not where it is. You're not even the same person you were last year, let alone when you were a 13-year-old. So save the children. Like, I pray these people continue to get exposed, and we continue to understand that this is not normal behavior, and it should not be something that should be explored. I remember them trying to add it to the LGBT community, and they will continue to try to do it. So we definitely have to continue to push back on this. Save the children, all the children, especially the ones in this podcast, because man, this was kind of crazy. You guys enjoy your week. Hopefully you'll have an amazing week and productive week, and the weekend will come fast for you. F is for Family and signing out, guys.